The cone snail is another example. A slow-moving mollusk that looks almost harmless. A shell you might lift from the shore without a second thought. And yet inside, it is a harpoon. A loaded, biological projectile used to stab and envenomate prey. And dangerous enough that in humans there is no simple antidote. The body freezes, signals fail, and what seemed like a beautiful shell reveals itself as one of the sea's quietest killers. This is one of the great patterns in natural history. The deadliest animals are not always the ones that look dangerous. Sometimes lethality hides behind stillness, color, silence, beauty. And that brings us to a different kind of killer. Not the giant, not the venomous ambusher, but the specialist. Animals so refined in one method of hunting that they seem almost impossible. Take the orca. Technically a dolphin, in practice one of the most intelligent and formidable predators on Earth. Orcas do not rely only on strength. They rely on coordination, communication, strategy, culture. Different populations hunt different prey using different techniques. Some target fish, some target seals, some target sharks, some even attack whales. And they do not do it randomly. They learn, they teach, they adapt. That changes everything. Because intelligence can make a predator deadlier than size alone ever could. An orca pod can create waves to wash prey from ice, can isolate the weak, can coordinate attacks, can exhaust animals much larger than themselves. In some ecosystems, orcas are the final answer. If you are in the water and they have decided you are prey, there may be nothing above them. They are proof that the deadliest predators are not always the simplest weapons. Sometimes they are minds. And if intelligence created one type of killer, patience created another. Few animals represent patience better than the crocodilians. Crocodiles, alligators, gharials, caimans. Descendants of ancient lineages that survived extinctions, climate shifts, and the collapse of worlds. Their body plan is old. Old enough to remind us that evolution does not keep changing what already works. Crocodilians are ambush turned into anatomy. Eyes high on the skull, nostrils placed to breathe while submerged, heavy tails for explosive movement, jaws designed to seize and hold, and a bite that can exert astonishing pressure. They wait at the edge of water where thirst brings life. Every animal must drink. Every crossing is a risk. And crocodilians turn that certainty into opportunity. Stillness is their camouflage. Water is their ally. And surprise is their weapon. The attack is often over before it is understood. A burst from the surface, a violent grip, a roll, then submersion. Prey that was safe 1 second earlier disappears entirely. This style of killing is ancient, efficient, and terrifying because it uses a basic law of life against life itself. Need drives vulnerability. The need to drink, to cross, to feed, to approach. Every killer exploits a need. Some of the most chilling predators in Earth's history did this to extraordinary effect. The bobbit worm, hidden beneath marine sediment, is one of them. It may not be enormous by prehistoric standards. It may not dominate headlines like Tyrannosaurus or Megalodon. But its method is pure ambush horror. Buried in the sea floor, jaws exposed, it waits for something to pass overhead. Then it explodes upward, seizes the prey, and drags it downward into the sediment. It is not the size of the predator that matters here. It is the invisibility. The fact that in some ecosystems, death may be inches below you and impossible to detect. The same logic shaped trapdoor spiders, ant-lion larvae, and countless ambush hunters across Earth's history. For every apex predator that hunted openly, there was another that preferred the unseen attack. And then there are the parasites. They complicate the idea of what a killer really is. Because not all death in nature comes from being torn apart at once. Some predators consume slowly. Some destroy from the inside. Some hijack bodies and behavior so completely that they turn living animals into tools. Parasitic wasps are among the most disturbing examples. They do not simply kill prey and eat it. They find hosts, inject eggs, manipulate biology, and let their young feed within a body that remains alive far longer than it should. This is not the clean violence of a bite. It is invasion, control. A predator using another animal not as food alone, but as a living environment. And once again, we see how broad the meaning of deadly can be. The deadliest animals are not always the most dramatic. Some kill through terror, some through chemistry, some through inevitability. On land, in water, in the air, every ecosystem shaped its own kind of perfection. Birds of prey are another form of that perfection. Descendants of dinosaurs, carrying ancient predatory logic into the sky. Eagles, hawks, falcons, owls. Each different, but all built around the same principle. Vision that can detect movement from astonishing distances. Talons that seize, beaks that tear. Bodies optimized for speed, maneuverability, or silent descent. The peregrine falcon may be one of the best examples of speed turned into lethality. Its dive can reach staggering velocities, and when it strikes, the impact is devastating. To its prey, the sky itself becomes a weapon. Owls, by contrast, represent silence. Feathers shaped to reduce sound. Flight so quiet that prey may never know death is descending at all. Predation is not one idea. It is thousands of solutions. And the deadliest animals are those that refine one solution until it becomes almost unfair. Which brings us to one of the most iconic marine predators of all, Megalodon. Even the name carries weight. A giant shark that has become a symbol of prehistoric fear. And while popular culture often exaggerates everything it touches, the underlying reality is already enough. Megalodon was enormous, a predator built to hunt large marine mammals. Its teeth, broad and serrated, were designed for cutting through flesh on a massive scale. Its body would have combined speed, size, and power in a way that made it one of the most formidable marine hunters ever to live. To imagine meeting one is to understand how helplessness feels in open water. There is nowhere to stand, nowhere to climb, no barrier between you and the approaching shape. If a creature like that chose to attack, the ocean itself would become part of the kill. And yet, even a giant like Megalodon did not exist outside ecology. No killer exists alone. Every apex predator is supported by prey populations, climate stability, habitat, and food webs. When those foundations shift, even the deadliest animals can fall. That is another deep truth of natural history. Lethality is not immortality. Being the perfect killer in one world means nothing when the world changes. Dinosaurs vanished. Marine reptiles vanished. Countless top predators rose and disappeared. And each time, Earth built new ones. After the extinction of the non-avian dinosaurs, mammals began to take over many of the dominant predatory roles on land. And mammals brought something different. Not necessarily greater ferocity, but new forms of intelligence, endurance, and behavior. Cats, canids, bears, saber-toothed predators, each representing a new chapter in lethal design. Among the most famous was Smilodon, the saber-toothed cat. Its long canines make it instantly recognizable, but they were not crude swords. They were specialized tools, likely used in carefully controlled attacks against vulnerable areas once prey had been restrained. This suggests a predator that relied not on reckless biting, but on precision after power, a combination of strength and targeted violence. Dire wolves, though more mythologized than clearly understood in popular culture, represent another possibility: pack behavior, endurance, numbers, the ability to exhaust and surround. Again, the deadliest strategy does not have to come from one overwhelming blow. Sometimes it comes from persistence, coordination, the slow collapse of prey that cannot escape the group. On open grasslands, over long distances, endurance can kill as effectively as claws. That same principle may explain part of humanity's own rise. Because while this story is about animals, we cannot completely ignore ourselves. Humans are predators too. But unlike other predators, we reshaped the world around our hunting. We used tools, fire, planning, language, and cooperation on scales no other animal could match. If intelligence made the orca a dominant hunter, intelligence plus technology made humans something else entirely. But there is an important distinction. Most of nature's deadliest animals evolved within ecological limits. They kill because they must, to feed, to defend territory, to reproduce, to survive. They do not kill for ideas. They do not wage war. They do not destroy entire systems intentionally. That may be what makes their violence easier to understand. In nature, death has a function. It is brutal, but not meaningless. A predator kills, and another life continues. Energy moves, balance shifts, evolution responds. And so the history of the deadliest animals is really the history of adaptation under pressure, the history of what works. What works in deep water? What works in darkness? What works in forests, deserts, swamps, and ancient inland seas? What works against armor, against speed, against caution, against prey that also fights back? That is why the deadliest animal is not one creature. It never was. There is no single champion of all time. There are only specialists in different worlds. The deadliest for a Devonian reef was not the deadliest for a Cretaceous river. The deadliest for an Ice Age plain was not the deadliest for a tropical shoreline. Each ecosystem produced its own answers, its own tyrants, its own methods of death.